I think that, first of all, such people should read certain literature. And in this regard, I can recommend such good books as, for example, the ones by our outstanding Russian philosopher and an Orthodox Christian, Prince Eugene Trubetskoy, who wrote what I believe to be an amazing book called The Sense of Life, where he examines in detail the different aspects of human life and, in particular, he says what sense a human life acquires with the different keys. When I say a key, I mean a musical key. You know that with the same notation, the music will be totally different if you put a different key. The music differs depending on whether it's a key signature or a bass clef. It's the same here. Our earthly interests, values, and goals acquire a completely different meaning for a person depending on it. What are these keys? There are two main ones. One of them, which causes despair, depression, disappointment in life, is the wrong key to life. I mean, when all the meaning is only attributed to this life, but it doesn't take us much reason to understand that this life will come to an end and we can't help it. But even before the end of it, terrible things can happen to a person, to their business, health, family state, social state, and so on. Anything can happen. A person can walk out and get hit by a car. Absolutely anything can happen. So every sober-minded person should attempt to think this thought to the end. I say so because people don't want to think about it. I remember when our Turgenev was asked about death, whether he ever thought about it or not. He said, yes, sometimes these thoughts come to my mind, but I throw them away. What a strange attitude some people have, and even most of the people have. But then suddenly this fog dissipates, and a person has to face the inevitable. Then not just depressions happen, but also such a despair grasps people that some of them commit suicides. This is one of the keys, and a person should think it through and see it. Another key is a Christian key, which claims directly that a human personality is immortal, and it turns out that everything that we do here, not just physically or mentally, but also meaning our hearts, souls, our feelings, desires, and dreams, and at last our goals, which are often unknown to anyone else, and that will never tell anyone. It all comes to light, because the eternity where a person passes on is light. There are no dark corners. Everything comes to light. And of course, all of a person's good efforts acquire for them a great blessing, because they feel that they didn't live this life in vain, and vice versa. So faith in God, faith in eternal life of a personality and its immortality open up the perspective of life and its sense, because the sense of life can only be found in eternal life and not in eternal death. That's why the people who are looking for for the meaning of life and who suffer and want to know the real situation should first of all read about it. I suggested The Sounds of Life by Trubetskoy, but there are also other books as well. You can read Two Towns by Sergei Nikolaevich Bulgakov. That's a digest of articles, so one should read and think, because there is no magical way to solve these problems. A person is not an animal, a person is an intellectual being, and a reasonable approach to a person's state is necessary. One should understand its roots, and for this one should think and ask other people and read. That's my answer to this important question, which they say is relevant nowadays. Not nowadays, but this question has been there during the whole history of mankind. Do you remember there was by Pushkin, "Fruitless gift at random handed, life of mine, what was your aim?" That's what he wrote at some sad moment of his life. Indeed, and of course, it is a very important question which requires a very serious approach.